I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't.
Welcome to the world-famous King Tut Museum. Be sure to respect the ancient relics. The ancient Egyptians were a magical people who built numerous beautiful, magnificent structures, like the world-famous pyramids and temples. No running inside. Scientists till this very day still do not know how the Egyptians built the pyramids.
I wonder, did aliens ever visit ancient Egypt?
Wow, look at that giant Egyptian statue. It looks just like you, Jason.
Thanks, Toby. You're a super cool friend. Imagine what the world would look like if I was the pharaoh.
Jason, you are daydreaming. Wake up.
Sorry, history got away from me.
Are now rocking with Jason Elm Street.
He's a beast, please don't forget the money, man.
I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous. I love America, but she's so dangerous. Somebody call her Superman, I am made of kryptonite. The wolves say it's chow time, what we about to eat tonight. What happened on Epstein Island, did it really take your life? I'm deeper than the ocean floor and higher than a satellite. Yes, I am an alchemist, I murder rubble sales gang. Walk with no religion, it's the return of the ancient Egyptians. West Coast, California, my family is Riverside. In the Empire, none of this ain't a lullaby. This is where the gods dwell and a lot of mothers cry. You can feel the thunder cry. Choctaw Nation, future chief on the rise. From a different dimension, Star Trek Enterprise. I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous. I love America, but she's so dangerous, dangerous.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, cause you are now tuned in to what is the Matrix. And I'm gonna start it off with my black brothers. I love you. I'll never put no one above you. Black brother, I love you. Rest in peace to the soul queen, Angie Stone Blood Sacrificed, this weekend in a rollover crash in Alabama. So let's get to it. But first, let me get an introduction to my co-host. I have the amazing JoJo.
What's cracking, everybody, man? How you feeling, brother Jason? How you feeling?
Amazing, amazing, brother. And I have the legendary brother rolling in from Los Angeles, brother Crib Jesus.
What's cracking, man? How you feeling?
Peace to the gods, peace to the gods. You there? You're muted, Crib Jesus.
Oh man, your peace of divine family.
What's up, man? How you feeling this morning, dog?
All is well. Day 3 of Ramadan. Just focused, you know.
Wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Rahmanullah.
Shukran Allah.
So how you guys feeling with this? Let's get straight to it. Turn this down. So right here we see Sister Angie Stone speaking about her royalties being stolen by the record labels recently. So before we even start the episode, y'all, let's I'm gonna show you guys the newspaper clip, and then I'm gonna show a 2-minute video of Miss Angie Stone talking about the ills of the music industry, her talking about how 40 years in the music industry, how she still wasn't able to retire, and how Universal Music Group has stolen millions of dollars from her. So right now, let's get into it. Miss Angie Stone, as you see right here, Angie Stone dead at 63 years old. R&B singer Angie Stone died in a fatal rollover crash on Interstate 65 near Montgomery, Alabama. She was traveling with her band from Mobile to Atlanta when their van collided with a semi-truck. Stone was declared dead on the scene. 8 other passengers were injured but did not die. Where have we heard this story before, ladies and gentlemen? Where have we heard the story?
Wait, can you say that again? What's the details? How she you said she crashed the what? Can you say it again?
Here we go. Angie Stone, R&B singer, died in a fatal rollover crash on Interstate 65 near Montgomery, Alabama. She was traveling with their band from Mobile to Atlanta when her van flipped over, and then a semi-truck then collided with her van. She was the only deceased person on the scene. The other 8 passengers survived. So right here, we can automatically get right into it.
Hey, hold on, brother Jason. You having a rollover like a static, so every time you talk, it's doubling.
Oh no!
Just so you're aware, I want to let you know.
Is that me? It is me echoing. Am I better now?
A little bit. I muted my phone.
I wonder why. Am I better here?
Yes.
So, Crib Jesus, do you have me on something? Because it's echoing through yours.
Is it still echoing?
You guys, am I echoing now? No.
Nah, we good.
Thanks, JoJo.
No problem, bro.
So once again, y'all, here we go. Angie Stone, she was the singer who sung the song Black Brother. But I'm going to play a clip, y'all, from her real quick so we can get a... Here we go. Now we live now. We live, so hold on, y'all. Give us a second. So here we go. This is Angie Stone before her passing. So we're gonna link this up. A black woman, black men, when they start speaking about their royalties and the ills of the music industry and how the majority of artists are broke, they start getting murdered mysteriously. And we're going to go into it this episode. But as we start, here's Miss Angie Stone.
No, I am so outdone with things that have been going on in and around me. And because we're at the end of 2024, I kind of just want to shut it down. Looking forward to 2025. I want y'all to go like and share, get some people on this live, mainly because I'm about to reveal some stuff that, Lord just told me to talk about today. Going out of this year, going into a new year, I need to bring you guys up to speed with some things that I've kept very
We're here in Hollywood at the LA Film School campus. Let me show you our pro spaces where our students work and learn. So now we're at our main stage. The main
personal and to myself, some things I wanted to share and other things I didn't want to share, but now I'm okay to reveal some things that is probably going to shock some people. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time to get some people in here because it was a lot. God just needed to sit me down so I could focus on me. So before I go into just, what I experienced, what I went through, I want to let you guys know I almost didn't make it through this process because it was something that just kind of hit me. It was a day or so before I was scheduled to fly out to Detroit. And I was very excited. All the tickets were bought. The hotels were paid for. The band was ready to go. And then I got hit with this crazy news, and it kind of threw me for a loop. So I figured I better share it with you all, and you can pass it on, because just because we're in the industry doesn't mean we're not human. Things happen all the time. And unfortunately, when this happened, I just wasn't prepared for it. But anyway, it caused me to miss that show that I was super, super excited about. Go in and get somebody, come back to the live. Like I said, I don't want to have to say it again. I haven't even told my team that I was going on today. I just threw up my light and just put on a little something just so I could get with you guys. All right, we got some people in the room now. I'm gonna wait for about 10 or 15 more people to get on, and then I'll share. Elegant, oh, that one too. Oh, you are beautiful as well. I continue to pray. I continue to pray. Somebody's calling my line, but I can't answer her call because I'm on the live right now. But I will say this.
There we go, y'all. My apologies.
It has been one heck of a ride. This last month, the enemy was trying to take me out.
Interview, y'all.
Really
not
trying to take me out. And
they took her out after this interview.
I'm gonna wait till we get
another
those 50,
black
60.
woman murdered.
We had 51. Let me see, can I get 70 to 100 people in the room right now before I reveal some very, very interesting information. And it is like a double-edged sword, because I'm going to tell you one thing, and then I'm going to get to the worst thing that could possibly happen to any artist after 45 to 50 years in the business. The worst thing that could happen. It has, of course, happened to me, and I'm constantly in prayer for God to forgive the people that have wished me ill will or, done anything to remotely get in the way of the gift of sharing with my fans. Okay. We're at 45. Let me get 50. Let me get 60. And I'm going to give y'all 5 more minutes to get some more people on this live. The devil is a liar. You're right. Down, then it was put back up. You tried to, of course, blame it on me, but it wasn't my fault. However, the song prevailed after everybody bailed. The song went all the way to #1 and is steadily climbing the chart. So if you guys have never heard My Mechanicals, they've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family.
What up, it's Mr. X to the Z Exhibit Y2B. Just keep it going.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, we see this with a lot of artists. You know, if you ask me, the entertainment industry in America now is like the new slavery. And people probably laugh when I say that because they're gonna say, look at the diamonds and look at the cars and look at the sex. It's like exactly like house niggas. The house niggas was inside the house with this master having tons of sex and diamonds and driving his cars. And that's all I really see. It's like these small token chosen few that have to, you know, just go through the worst atrocities you could imagine, right? And they use them, they prop them up in front of us and just basically make them do whatever. So if you're not like that, when maybe you are actually talented, not to sell out, not to plant, not to mold, then you just get robbed.
There it is.
Hey, it's really crazy too because them artists like Cardi B and the ones who are down with the agenda and shit like that never bothered. It's only the ones who be pushing back. And I agree with you, man. Fucking the entertainment industry has always been slavery. You ever seen the movie Django? When they would have paid them niggas to come in and fight each other, just like the UFC, till death. Exactly. So we've always been kind of entertaining. We had Sarah Barnett. She had a fat ass. They cut her in half, put her in a freaking stage and shit like that. And they made it seem as if though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Sarah Barnett, Venus, exactly. She would represent exactly like the twerking and the BBL craze right now. So there's nothing going to done. Exactly.
And what do you guys feel? I was linking it up. For those who don't know, Lisa Left Eye Lopez died in basically the same exact way. She was the only person to die in her crash. It was a rollover crash. And once again, it was around the time when she was speaking out against the record labels. And then she even had a VH1 special that eventually came out where she was the first to talk about Dr. Sebi. For those of us in junior high, if you guys, junior high or high school, if you remember seeing that documentary was life-changing for me. She was talking to plants and trees. And then they, of course, she burnt down the Andre Risen's house. So I'm not saying that they weren't painting her as a bad person and all that. But at the end of the day, her name was Left Eye, and she was always doing this. And TLC was part of, for me, the agenda of Black people not having sex in the 90s. They were pushing the condom and AIDS thing. So TLC was running around here with condoms on their damn head like fools, telling Black people not to reproduce. And that's why you also see in California and throughout America the rise in the Mexican population, because when they let the Mexican population in the 80s and 90s, they were told to reproduce. They gave us Magic Johnson, Easy E.
Hey, hold on, I was gonna say, even during the
to stop having sex.
I was gonna say, bro, during the COVID, a lot of the problems actually was people coming to find out after they got the jab. It wasn't that they were all having like immune system problems. It was actually sterilization. A lot of people could never have kids after that.
Well, we definitely know that. We definitely know they were injecting people. They've been experimenting on us. But when it comes to Lisa Left Eye Lopez, her murder is connected to, I would say, the government again, because you still have T-Boz in Chile, and Chile's still super Christian. She's still and then when they died, if you guys go back and watch the TLC interviews, they talk bad about Lisa. They said she was crazy. Oh, she had issues, all these things. For me, they knew what was going to happen. And so when we look at, what's her name? Angie Stone, her car rolled over, but then in particularly, they said a semi truck hit it. How coincidental is that for your truck or your tour van to roll over into another lane, and then the fatal hit was with the semi truck? So we have to look at, was this an electrical truck? What type of van? I know it was a Mercedes Sprinter van, because once again, I tell people they could control your cars to the planes. So right here, once again, we see two sisters. And the reason why why do they knock out the entertainers, is because the entertainers have the largest voice of influence right now in society. And then also Michael Jackson, we're going to bring up Michael when he started talking about the royalties. And so what's so important about music royalties is art. Art and anthropology is culture, y'all. So whoever owns and controls the music and the arts can control not only reality, but they also can control history. Because when people dig up ancient civilizations, how do you judge a civilization? By their pottery,
their music, and their art.
There you go. And that's why Michael Jackson was actually one of the wealthiest people on the planet, because he owned the music catalogs. So they had to destroy his image, not just only with the sexual thing, they also try to destroy him business-wise in people's minds. Oh, he was broke. He owned the Beatles catalog, and he owned the majority of Sony. And if he owned, no, not if, since that he owned the majority of Sony, therefore he owned American history. Boom! So
hold on. I thought if that means that he owns, mind you, this is more of a me questioning. If he owned the Beatles, I heard some rumor in some article that I read that the Beatles was either a CIA or FBI program. How true is that?
Yes, it's a fact.
If that means that Michael owned it, then was he a part of the CIA?
Oh, we're gonna get to the owners of the label in a second. But if you want to go there, we're gonna get to the Clyde Davises. We're going to always link it up. There's another person who I won't drop his name, who looks similar, who be running around hip hop, who's connected to Easy.
Okay, so hold on. Let's slow down. Let's slow down, because we don't do belief. So let's break it down. Because if we just go too fast, everybody's got to believe it. So hold on, because we gotta make something clear here.
Okay.
Because you said something threw me off. You said the government. So are you saying the government or the Clive Davises in them? Because I'm gonna tell you why. We got to clarify it. Maybe you're saying both. It's up to you. I'm saying because, from my understanding, people such as Jimmy Iovine, Clive Davis, David Geffen, Tommy Mottola, all these people are like connected in the sense of like mafias, secret societies, and I'm sure they're in bed with the government, but you get what I'm saying? Or hold on, let me ask the question. Let me finish you. Or are you talking about the government? Like these dudes are just pawns for this is actually these are the people, the politicians.
Yes. These people are set in place throughout society, whether you're superintendent, certain principals, certain managers of your fast food chains. Every leader and sector of society is controlled by them. So they'll put in a person, what they will say a puppet, a front man, a visible person for what goes on to control it. So right here, we see the structure of a major record label. We see, if we can get even closer.
Hey,
we
hold
see.
on. I want to second that real quick because I like how he said slow it down. That is very, very true, because it was about 3 years ago. I wanted to be employed by the agency. The agency we're probably all thinking about, the big guys, because I'm neutral on a lot of stuff. I'd love to be that James Bond kind of guy, But the more that I got into it, and the more that I found out the recs, and the more that I found out exactly what the job description was, they're not looking for, like, dude, the movies are fake. They're not looking for people who are not covert. Like, you're not gonna look for a Cardi B and stuff like that. You want librarians, you want fast food people worker, people who blend in. They don't even think twice about it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of programs, including COINTELPRO. Do you guys remember how back then when that happened, they put a normal ass dude in there and they used him for their agenda? But since they used the little guy, no one ever really raised any eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, hold on, because he cut you off. I want you was breaking down the major record label thing with the picture. Then you just zoomed off.
Okay. And then I want everyone to watch. Okay, I am.
Graph,
go.
Yeah.
Okay. So right here before I go,
yeah, can we get to that graph?
Yes, I am.
All right.
This is the owner.
I was trying to read it.
Okay, I am. Listen, this is the owner of Universal Music Group. Before we go to the Lucian Gretchen. So I wanted to show you guys.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
So right.
Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
Brother, I'm trying to understand.
I love you, Chris.
Hold on.
Okay.
Listen,
no, I love it.
Is that Sir Lucian Gretchen?
There you go, sir.
So is he even American?
No.
Okay.
What is it?
So he's a knight, like, or let me tell me what.
If I were to start quoting what country is from, I would be wrong. I want to say that Grecian.
Let me look it up, because if I'm not mistaken, I think he was actually knighted by the queen. Like, he's way not American. Like, this is like a damn. It's cold you brought him up, because look, remember, there's a lot of people don't know about him, bro. So don't zoom past him. That's some very big information. I know you want to get to the high power shit and all that, but hold on. This is very big. So look. The first person to make him even known in some popularity, pop culture, I would say, like mainstream, is when Kanye West dissed him. A lot of youngsters, a lot of the people who are addicted to the hip hop and the biggest victims of it have no idea who this dude is. That's very major. You brought him up, because most people are going to say the popular names: Jimmy Iovine, Time Mottola. We hear these names a lot. You get what I'm saying? These are the names of someone who you won't hear about. You get what I'm saying? People are argue all day. Don't mention his name, while at the same time, this is arguably the most powerful person in American music, period. This is not no one you should zoom past at all. This is that guy.
Because Jimmy and all those dudes, those are the also frontmen. You know, like I said, in the movie Josie Pussycats, they show you how the music industry is ran by the CIA and the government, and they use actual artists to promote certain clothing lines, certain trends. Certain,
hold on. So we gotta break him down.
There you go. It is British.
Sir Lucian Charles Ganji. The first thing I can tell you is I can't even say his name right, because he's not American. I think that's important, brother. We got to hold on, man. He's not even American. He controls probably how much percent of American culture would you say this man alone is affecting? If you had to put a number on it.
Over 50%. He owns the majority of the music. I'm going to show a picture for you guys.
Look at this. He's British. That's why his name is Sir Lucian, right? like you said, Universal Music Group. So he's knighted, actually. I just want to show one thing. Personal life. Hosted events with Sean Diddy Combs. Okay. Commander of the Order of the British Empire.
Wow.
So this goes back to your first point. See, I'm just trying to help you show and prove. I don't want them to believe. I don't want niggas to believe you like Jason said that, so it's true. Fuck that. Let's show them. He is the government. He's the fucking commander of the Order of the British. He high level Mason, government, Christian, all that stuff dudes be sitting up arguing about all day. In 1585 in 1125. No, right now.
It says
right
military.
now, like you said, bro. The living vampire. That's all. I just wanted to show you what you were saying was 1,000%.
So I just did a little bit of research, you guys, on the Order of the British Empire. So basically, or the commander in that aspect, it's a society that commends people who have like done things in a non-combative role, but they've still somewhat served the British Empire. So there's knights and then there's damus. So if he was made a knight, being the commander, I think that's what Crip Jesus is talking about. So the order's rights, like how the Masons have the Knights Templar, the Shriners, and all that. That right there is what Crip Jesus is talking about. Just so you guys know, you can Google that.
He answers to the highest of the government, because you get what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, when this conversation starts to bring the government into it, there's like maybe they'll agree, maybe they won't, but it's like to really break it down, you'll see how like, you know what I mean? Because like he's showing all this right here, they're all under Universal.
So right here, you guys, like Crip Jesus was asking you as an audience as well. How many of you guys knew that Universal Music Group runs Interscope, Geffen Records, Universal, Motown, Universal Republic, Island, Def Jam, Sanctuary, Machete, Phillips, Dodeca. If you learn what a dodecahedron is, or the tetragrammaton is, you'll learn about how they use beams and sigils to trap us in these light codes. So they use music as a weapon. The government controls hip hop and CIA because music is culture. Once again, words create worlds. And so if you can control a people through certain sounds and tones by making it digital instead of real Netaru nature music, you now can put tones and frequencies underneath the music more than they did during the heavy metal bands, because Geffen Records, Def Jam, all these labels are the same labels that ran heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne, death metal, all these metal groups that had suburban European kids killing themselves, quitting jobs, anti-America, and it became an effing problem. And so eventually they came up with hip hop. And so they used, once again, because when I was in the industry, they knew my whole background, and they would always emphasize how I already was a star. You won this, you won that, your mom was this, your grandfather was this, your family does this, you're already a star. These people, the majority of your rappers who you see today, they will point them out and say, he's not a star. We made him a star. And so that's when I started realizing, like, oh, you guys picked the corniest, sorriest dude with no swag, no real energy, who's a real god, because they're already awake. So if they go into that Hollywood world knowing who they are and having some bread, they'll already see the satanic and the evil, wicked stuff going on how they run it. So they have to get you ignorant. That's why that's why they always bring in young artists, because you're so geeked up of achieving your dreams and your talent. You sign that contract, your life. You remember when Eazy-E and Dre and them were beefing, and they were saying Jerry Hellard, and he went in and he said, "Oh, so sign your life. I mean, your name on the contract." So these dudes right here, these are warlocks. While our people go to church, praise Jesus, like Angie Stone was saying, she said they don't believe in your God. So when I came back home telling people, like, you guys believe in God and Jesus, the world don't work like that. That's to keep you ignorant under a spell. So they have you worshiping Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Eminem. Look behind all the artists under Geffen and Interscope, gangster rap, niggas with an attitude, people glorifying you killing another brother, selling dope in your community. Okay to be a thug, a gangster, a pimp. The lowest of the lowest gets rewarded by these people, Hollywood stars, and this is his family behind them. So that's the marketing department. That's the sound department. That's the electrical engineering department. All these different departments. So here we go. Structure of a major record label. It starts with the company president and the owner. But remember, there's someone above him. So Gretchen, Sir Lucian, like Crip Jesus was saying, has been knighted. So this comes from a bloodline like we speak of in all of our episodes. We are at war. So the structure of the record label is designed like.
Okay, hold on. Let's put this back. Let's put this up here. Let's put this up here. You just said it. So let's show it. So the bloodline, right? Born Lucian Charles to parents Cecil and Marion Grange. He grew up in a Jewish family in North London. His older brother was Nigel Grange, the founder of Ensign Records, which was brought by Jack Wells, CEO. Grange left Queen Elizabeth's Grammar School for Boys at the age of 18 and began working as a runner at MPC, a talent scout company, in 1978. Okay, so before we go any further, the bloodline, like you said, his allegiance, his ties are not only to what's known as the Ashkenazi Jews, but this is where you get into the Rothschild family and the families that funded the world wars, the actual Jewish families in London. Those London banking houses, Jewish families, are the headquarters of every conspiracy theory. See, you know what I mean? So when you put the name and the face to it, you realize this starts in 1555 with Sir John Hawkins. Like you said, Knights. The Knights Templar didn't end. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Crusades is being carried out right now through these warlocks, like you said, parading with crosses in the name of Jesus, the same way they did in the Holy Crusades. But see, when you look at the times when they threw the brothers on the ships, remember they used to band the drums.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where they say, okay, it's time to release the drum under our influence now. Or to not give them so much credit, they say, oh, niggas trying to bring the drum back, but we got to get up in there and make sure we control it. Either way it goes, we know the agenda is tied to this same bloodline we see initiating what's known as the North Atlantic slave trade, was known as the British Empire when it switched from the quote unquote black nobility. Now, here's what's funny about this. This is where you get into the Moorish betrayal in Dirty Moors, because a lot of these rulers, like King Charles, King James and his bloodline, they were Moors, but they would never call themselves Moors. They hated the actual Moors, like, you get what I'm saying, like, because they didn't like Islam. So they actually took words like turban out of the Bible and Moor out of the Bible. And the point I'm saying is there was an agenda here. So he's part of that agenda, whether he's, you know, quote unquote white or not. He's from a Jewish bloodline. He doesn't care about Christianity or none of that. His agenda is against the American people, the original Americans, which are us. You feel what I'm saying? So this is why the music is so hell-bent on promoting crime, promoting destruction, promoting lawlessness, promoting ignorance, promoting over excessive drug use. This is all to go a part of an agenda against America that was started even within the British Empire, self-destructive against itself, with Oliver Cromwell and them going against the Moorish real bloodlines of Britain. You know what I mean? So the point is, he's part of those bloodlines that took down the original rulers of the British empires, the original Moors, where we get our names from, not the slave masters. He's part of the bloodlines that came with the banking houses and the Rothschilds. And when you understand the face behind the mask, it makes it all make sense. You know.
Love you, brother.
Yes,
I appreciate that breakdown. I love how we bounce off of each other. It makes the learning and education much higher. So to the right, it says artists can build their own virtual record label from a plethora of creator tools. So I have the picture to the left, the structure of the record label, and we're going to also get into what they're planning to do this whole time, which is eventually to take us out, not just the instruments out, but also the physical temple pyramid vessel out and replace us, Netaru's nature, like Jesus was saying, the drum and all that, and then us with robots and AI. And I guarantee you eventually they're going to release that there are already AI artists for the last probably 5 to 10 plus years, and Milli Vanilli just got exposed. If you guys remember the group Milli Vanilli, that was just an example of one group that got caught. So imagine all the other artists who are mainstream who are not singing. Learn about J-Lo and Ashanti, how Ashanti is really the voiceover for J-Lo. So imagine how, and I could really start.
Look what I typed in just to prove what you're saying is so cold. Look what I typed into the Google search. Can you see it?
Sir Lucien Grange.
No. What I typed in right here. Look.
Well, who's the most important CEO in the music industry? Wow.
Oh yeah, Sir Lucien. Sure. Like now, I'm gonna put globally. Let's see. Globally. Still. Woo! Talk about the agenda. No, in your face, sir. They just not paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
So right here, as you see, to the left, you have the record label, and what's to the left, y'all? Legal department. So off the rip, before marketing, before promotion, before artist development, paperwork. And who controls that paperwork? The so-called Jews, right? And then to the right, business affairs. Then there's another human being, is the vice president. Then you get into the A&R, promotion, artist development, marketing, publicity department, news and media. Then they have record label liaison, sales, art department. Remember that any given record label may have a slightly different organization. As large companies buy up smaller record labels, the organization record company changes a great deal. Most record companies have their own websites where you can find what labels the company owns and what artists the company is being promoted by. So what Steve Jobs did in Napster, which is always, these people are always coming out of the Ivy League type of schools, and they'll say that they were dropouts. No, all these people, their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, all of them are part of the same families. You're going to even learn that the majority of your Black celebrities are related, and then they're related to pale-skinned European. It's just one family away. That's why, like, Michael Jackson is related to Samuel L. Jackson. Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson are cousins. You know, So Barack Obama is related to all of the Bushes, you know, and so all of these people, you're gonna even learn like the 21 Savages and Hova. Why do you think they're called Rockefeller Records? They were called Rockefeller Records, I guarantee, because either Jay-Z or one of them is related to the Queen of England. I guarantee it. When it's all said and done, there's no way in the world that they allowed them boys to name themselves Rockefeller Records and rap about selling dope all them years. Come on, y'all.
Can you read that, please?
So I'm gonna show y'all this.
No, can you read that, please, and break that down?
He was knighted in the 2016 birthday honors for services.
So 29 November 2016.
He received the humanitarian award for Foundation of Ethnic Understanding.
No.
What musician was knighted by Queen?
What the fuck is ethnic understanding?
No, go back up. He was knighted in 2016 birthday honors for services to British business and inward investment. He was inaugurated to appointment to the Order of the British Empire and Knight Bachelor on 29th of November in 2013.
And that's what I was saying. With that order, the two highest ranks other than the OBE,
Paul McCartney, and there you go.
The OBE. Hold on, it was the OBE and the commissioner, which was the knight. What was the knight when he was elected in 2016? That's what I was saying a few minutes ago when I was mentioning what Cub was saying.
And so you were even saying the CIA. You were asking, I think JoJo or one of you, and Sir Paul McCartney. All them Beatles. Why do you think the Black Beetle was the Black Beetle? That's Kefra.
Exactly.
The Scarab Beetle. Man, come on.
Look, a native of London, Grange was bestowed with a knighthood in 2016 by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in the Queen's 90th birthday honors. So, like you said, this is the Queen Knight is knighting these people. They work directly for the Queen Elizabeth.
Hey, you guys, watch this. I'm on Google right now on another screen. Read this. The CIA has been involved with music in a variety of ways, including during the cultural Cold War and psychological operations. That includes the CIA's Cultural Cold Front, the CCF, organized anti-communist musical events in Berlin, Paris, and London. The CCF provided financial aid to artists to promote corporations between artists and the CIF. Also focused on earlier European works that had been banned by Soviet authorities. The U.S. 361st Psychological Operations Company used music to culturally offend Iraq POWs and for sleep deprivation. The BBC News reported that the company used Enter Sandman by Metallica, as well as music from Barney and Dinosaurs and Sesame Street. What else did it say on this? Miles Corcoran, founding member of CIA, was an American musician and businessman. He was known for his relationships with Egyptian leader Gamal Abdel Nasser.
There you go. So that answered your question, you guys, your viewers. Is the CIA and the government? It goes beyond the government. They are the government. This is beyond an experiment, because now you can use music and now you can look at the different generations of what's going on. From the 2000s,
also, I would like to add that
the
he is
80s.
also a member of the Bilderberg Group, which is a meeting every year that hosts 100 to 112 political leaders, media leaders, Facebook people, basically your major government. So within the government's government, there's multiple secret societies, allegedly, so they say, that have a lot of influence over this.
Exactly. Bingo. And when we look to the right, y'all, in the very, very center, what do you see? You see the global network symbol, right? Behind the guitars and drums, what do you guys see? And then you also see ancient African symbols within that as well. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that now they're going to replace all the music and stuff and make it AI and robots, and look all around it. Patreon, BMG, all these companies, DistroKid, everything they're trying to control. The one world government, to where one company controls the music, the media, basically what you hear and see. And behind the music are tones, frequencies, messages: kill, murder, get sick, reproduce, all these things to take us out of our frequency. And this is where all the past episodes where I speak of time travel, because in order for them to change time, they have to change the frequency of the planet. And in order to change the frequency of the planet, they have to change our frequency, our perception. So when Crip Jesus brought up the award with ethnic understanding, it's because they're giving the world their version of understanding and overstanding of who we are as original people. So therefore, they're using music to time travel and create time. That's why when you hear certain songs, you go back in time and you feel the emotions. And that's why they have the same songs on the radio over and over again, to put you in a time loop. And so when we look to the new picture, who is under Universal? Drake, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, all these dudes on the bottom. The girl, the Elliott girl who's big, Weeknd, another European, I don't know, Eminem, Drake, the Asian market's coming big, Rihanna, the Beatles, and that folk music, because Jeffrey Dahmer, or was it Charles Manson, excuse me, Charles Manson was also linked to the CIA and learn about the rock and roll scene, like Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison is connected to the CIA because his father was CIA. And then learn about Power 106 and learn about Power 106, 99.1, 92.3, Hot 97. And I guarantee you the music, the program director is Jewish. And then if you ask them about their grandfather, great grandfather, or mother, they'll say, oh yeah, they were CIA. It's because all these people are put in place. When iHeartRadio, that was like the final takeover. That's when they started the playlist, and they took away local artists being allowed to be played on the radio, which kept a local frequency of, being able to be innovative, creative, and be yourself. When iHeartRadio and Universal and Disney and ABC and the government and the military and the riches and warlocks and more extraterrestrials and Pindar and all them started getting more of a stronghold and a consolidation of the sound and the music, and made it into like Steve Jobs did with the CD burners, that's when the process started to making it all digital. And then they knew that once the CD burners came and you could download music and then put it onto a disc for free, eventually they would make music free by making the hip hop artists, the black artists' music more accessible for download, because the so-called pale skin European artists, they make money off of tours still. But hip hop doesn't have those type of tours. The last one was what? Jay-Z's, the Rockefeller tour that he did with DMX. Other than that, when it came to the big hip hop tours that we should be having, like Taylor Swift, they cut that out. It's because your industry is, in particularly black music, is a CIA, PSYOP, government, military. It controls reality. The God of the Bible, and Lucifer and all these things, right, was an angel of music. So they have to control the sound of music, because if the biggest artist in the world is teaching people about spaceships, unity, pyramids, the government is lying to us, people will have an opportunity to think on a massive level, meaning that the spell can be broken. The spell of ignorance can be broken, and people have an option to think. But look at Kendrick. Kendrick's one of them. That's what JoJo was talking about when we were talking about the ciphering of energy, battling, niggas going at each other with Django all the time, deciphering energy. Because Drake and Kendrick are still on the same label. But in the minds of the listener, they think that that was organic. And even Drake won a lawsuit. He won that lawsuit. You guys know that, right? So
what lawsuit? Go ahead for the viewers. Hold on. No one knows
Drake
that.
is suing Universal Music Group because he said that Universal Music Group was using tactics to make Kendrick Lamar's song "They Not Like Us" the #1 hit of all time for this. And that's true. Record labels not only use money and payola because first of all, they control the government, they control the news, they control the media. All the outlets are government ran, just like your movies. They'll admit that the movies have to go through CIA and all these government agencies before it hits the big screen, because they do not allow anything that we see in here on a massive level to be organic. It has to go through their filter. So when you see people geeked up off of Kendrick, oh, we won, and they literally think that like that's a big achievement. Black people really think that they won off of a freaking song. And these people are signed to these labels, and these labels are all controlled by the Draconians. There's no coincidence during these times that the biggest artist in the world, Aubrey, who's the largest star from Canada, who played a homosexual in high school, came to the most devious record label, Cash Money, and Lil Wayne. And what does Lil Wayne mean? Lil Wayne are the deities that they said came down. And then his name is Little Wayne. So Nikki, what is another name for Satan or the devil? Nikki. And what did Nicki Minaj bring in? She brought in the bisexuality. She brought in the blonde hair, the more plastic look more than ever, the fake butts. And then they brought in the Cardi B. So it's a government military operation when it comes to our culture. So go ahead. You on mute? I think one of you guys are on mute.
Okay, so hold on, y'all. So I was doing some more research because, devil advocate. So the majority of your movies, as far as, has anyone seen Save It Private Ryan?
Of course.
That movie. So that movie, for every actor who was involved, they had to go through a certain, I guess you could say, a course. And the course was a psyops one to literally mentally get their mind tuned to that frequency so that when they're acting it, it's not really acting. It's realer to them. Like you guys have to understand, a lot of these actors and stuff, they go through a lot of psychological problems because when they're acting these movies, it's like you've seen one dude be a father, an actor, a killer, a murderer, but the psyche of the human body really doesn't know what's real or what's fake. So they have to go through these certain programs to where they're able to actually act out these movies for you guys.
Yeah. So it says Drake has reached a settlement with Texas-based iHeartMedia in his ongoing legal dispute over Kendrick Lamar's diss, Not Like Us, according to court records. In November, Drake filed a legal petition in Bexar County, Texas, where San Antonio is located, alleging that iHeartMedia had received illegal payments from Universal Music Group to boost radio airplay for Not Like Us. UMG is the parent record label for both Drake and Lamar. The petition, a precursor to a potential lawsuit, had sought depositions from corporate representatives of both companies. In a court document filed Thursday, attorneys for Drake said the rapper and iHeartMedia had reached an amicable resolution of the dispute, but did not offer any other information. We are pleased that the parties were able to reach a settlement satisfactory to both sides and have no further comment on this matter, Drake's legal team said in a statement. In an email Friday, iHeartMedia declined to comment on the settlement. The claims against UMG remain active, and a hearing on motion by UMG's lawyers to dismiss the petition was scheduled to be held Wednesday in San Antonio courtroom. Drake has alleged UMG engaged in irregular and inappropriate business practices to get radio airplay for Not Like Us. The petition also alleges that UMG knew the song itself, as well as its accompanying album art and music video, attacked the character of another one of UMG's most prominent artists, Drake, by falsely accusing him of being a sex offender, engaging in pedophilia acts, harboring sex offenders, and committing other criminal sexual acts. An email to UMG representatives seeking comment was not immediately answered. In January, Drake filed a defamation lawsuit in federal court in New York City against UMG over what he alleges are false allegations of PD made and Not Like Us. Lamar is not named in the lawsuit. The feud between Drake, a 38-year-old Canadian rapper and singer and 5-time Grammy winner, and Lamar, a 37-year-old Pulitzer Prize winner who headlined Super Bowl halftime, so on February 9th, is among the biggest in hip-hop recent years. The Federal Communications Commission sent a letter Monday to iHeartMedia CEO and chairman Robert Pittman saying the commission is looking into whether the audio company is forcing musicians to perform at its May Country Music Festival in Austin for reduced pay in exchange for favorable airplay of their songs on iHeart radio stations. We look forward to demonstrating the commission how performing at the iHeart Country Festival or declining to do so has no bearing on our station's airplay. iHeartMedia said in a statement, we do not make any overt or covert agreements about airplay with artists performing at our events. So yeah, man, they're basically getting audited now. It's going down.
And here we go. So as we end this section of it, proving, and we have so much more. So right here, we see the Rihanna, the white girls coming, and that's another thing, y'all. It's done to replace. In order for the robots and AI, they have to replace the original artists, the original people, the organic. So okay, so first they take out, in order to take out the so-called black people, they have to get separation. So they'll get the coon, right? So once they get the coons, they'll do that farming system, then the colorism, the light skin. That's why you see the Drakes, the Rihannas, the Weeknd, you know, they get them ready to accept the light skin, the Eminems and all that. And then slowly but surely the Adeles, the Lady Gagas, the white girl rappers are going to come, the Mexican rappers, the Selena Gomez's, the Nicki Minaj's came with the blonde hair, Beyonce with the blonde hair, to slowly get the world ready to get you out the picture so they can take over. Because no matter if it's them in control, like when I used to go to the Oscars and Grammys and Academy Awards, MTV Awards, BET Awards, for years, ask anybody, I pull up backstage at the Grammys in my tour van, TVs and all of it. And basically you would see how it's all orchestrated by pale-skinned Europeans. And that they had bluegrass, heavy metal, soft rock, jazz. They had all these different genres, but all we had was hip hop and R&B. And I was like, wow. In our minds, we think that we run music. I really think in so-called black people's minds, they think that they run music. When they watch the NFL and NBA, in their minds, they're really cheering like they have ownership. And they don't own anything in these labels. And then they have an allegiance to artists. Say something bad about Eminem on your timeline and see what happens. But people hate on LeBron James. It's like self-hate. So it's programmed, y'all. But before we get into back to our sister Angie Stone, Will Smith says he spoke to Prince and Biggie Smalls hours before they pass. And so I took a picture when I was listening to a song by Angie, and Will Smith popped up again. And I got to thinking, I see Will Smith next to Biggie and Prince, and said, is Will Smith also a part? And he was connected to the Tupac and Jada. He didn't like Pac with that. Is Will Smith part of the agenda to knock certain brothers out of the equation so he's the number one? throughout history. Once again, colorism. And Jaguar Wright was Angie Stone. So Angie Stone was sacrificed for the Jaguar Wright. So for me, Jaguar Wright sacrifice was Angie Stone. Because how is Angie Stone talking about her royalties? Because she actually had a #1 hit. She has an anthem that we can listen to every day as so-called Moors and original so-called black men. A song talking about, I mean, how many songs do us as so-called black men have a song dedicated to us? Talking about, I love you, brother. I'm here for you. Most of the songs now talk about niggas ain't shit. I use him for his money. He's a trick. But Angie Stone actually made a song saying that she loved black brothers who were incarcerated. There were brothers who are educated. What happened to that music? Jaguar Wright never made no song like that. She was a backup singer on one of Jay-Z's songs. And she got an award at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago house or mansion. How is that possible that Jaguar Wright was presented with the Defender of Freedom Award for YouTube posts? How, Sway? She just sacrificed that, sister, and that's how it works. That's how it really works, y'all. For those of us who were really in the industry for California, who were really raised in Southern California, whose family really are from Compton and these areas that can tell you about the industry before certain things in hip hop. It's real. Our people are being controlled by higher, we would say higher powers that be beyond the government, but they use humans, they use our own people, because just like we showed you earlier, there's an organizational structure to reality, like the Wizard of Oz and Wicked. And I have to watch that because I didn't know that the sister was green in the movie Wicked. And you know how I speak of how we were originally green. And when you look at her green, it really almost looks like this, because we are the extraterrestrials. We are the so-called aliens. We are the so-called superheroes and gods being manipulated through sound frequency, through the media, and people like Jaguar Wright. But I want to link this up. How coincidentally did this happen to where Notorious B.I.G.'s catalog for sale? The late rapper's publishing and publicity rights have a suitor in primary way with the asking price of only $100 million. That's nothing. That's not a lot of money. $100 million to own all the rights to his voice, music. I can make animation. I can make holograms. I can do AI to make new albums for $100 million. I can make that in a day off of little videos. That's how much his artwork is worth? No, it's infinite. That's why they're buying it up, y'all. And so the music name and likeness of Notorious B.I.G. will soon have a new home as the rapper estate is close to signing a deal with Primary Wave. Why? Because who just passed away, y'all? Rest in peace, Miss Mother Valletta Wallace passes away at 72 years old. What a coincidence, right? That Notorious B.I.G.'s mother passes away, and now his publishing and likeness and rights are up for sale while Diddy is locked up. Ain't that something? And to the left, we see Assata Shakur. She's gone as well. An erasing of our culture, our history, our legacy, our story, and they're using technology to time travel and replace us. So who will be the next Tupac? Will it be Eminem, just like they did Elvis Presley, just like they did with the Yeshuas and the Jesus, the Harus? I already teach that when you go to Egypt and Kemet and Tamare, the noses are knocked off. When we start teaching about Cambodia and Angkor Wat, the noses are knocked off. When we study Mesoamerica and pre-Columbian civilizations, the noses are knocked off. So right here, we see a link to the music industry and reality. So what do you guys feel about Notorious B.I.G.'s mother's passing away, and all of a sudden his catalog is for sale? You brothers there?
Oh no, I'm still here and I'm listening. I was just doing a lot of reading as you were talking. You just talking. I'm like, oh, okay. Honestly, man, I think that all of this, even what we're talking about, yeah, I think that right there is the agenda. You're selling, you're buying. It reminds me of the Barbary slave trade, where everyone is involved in some type of exchange. Because even though the Jesuits might be hypothetically the ones who are running the show, well, then that means that you have all these subsidiaries who might be aware, but we don't really do nothing about it. It's like, I don't understand. You can buy and sell royalties. You can sell catalogs and stuff like that from BIG after he dies. The labels always get death insurance claims and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a lot, bro. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot to dissect. But I think that it's really just all a part of this matrix we talk about escaping. We're very aware. We just don't do nothing about it. We know we talking about bitches, hoes, booty hole brown. Even the Tatianas, as much as they love that shit, they're still like, damn, that's pretty bad. We're losing our we're losing our sanity right now, man. From the LG, from everything. I mean, every single thing, man. They're just running this in circles.
Crib Jesus, are you there? I'm listening, JoJo.
Oh,
So,
well, I'm sorry.
well, I know I did touch on a lot of stuff. Did you think of anything? I don't know if you watched Jaguar Riot, if you had been keeping up with that. Did you feel that was suspicious that she was given such a award?
No, I'm not too educated on that one, so I'll sit down on that one. But I will say, on all the stuff that you just said, I would like to make a little allusion. These systems that we're participating in, we always talk about these secret societies, but we're all within these secret societies of our own, and those are our friends. Those are the people we're around. Some people, huh?
Go ahead. I'm gonna take a quick second break.
Yeah, but these secret societies also, or the societies that you hold to be near dear in secret, like a lot of your people who you're by, and all of these negative, monglers and stuff like that, whether they be organizations of some type of third party agency or something like that, it really starts at home, you guys. Like, we always talk about, the bigger works and stuff like that, but to slow down while Brother Jason is gone, you have societies within your own households to where it's like you guys have to start building and almost replicating what you're watching these organizations, to which we talking poorly about, but in realistically, it's like, dude, you guys already set up the foundation to where you can redirect it. You have all these people who are talented. Why not just try to remarket, direct, and actually make a little bit of forward movement? You can you agree with that? You're muted.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Yeah, hell yeah.
So I'm saying, so it's like, we can keep talking about, the problem at issue and stuff like that, but y'all, we need solutions. We need to create new secret societies, and realistically, it's everyone who's here. You guys have the power to intellectually, even if it's white people, even if it's Mexican, man, there's too many people on the panel. I go for everybody. If you listening and you feel as if though, man, these organizations and this and that, you have the intellect to be able to create it for yourself. Am I lying?
No, facts.
What's your output on that, G?
Well, with Biggie, I look at it as it was already tainted from the beginning. I look at it as when everything came out and unfolded after his passing, and his mother sued Puff Daddy and all of that, it became obvious that he never had this publishing and all that from the jump. So on top of that, Diddy had it, and Diddy was dealing with it with them, you know what I'm saying, them Europeans, and come to find out, he didn't have full control over it. I forgot the name of the dude he was under with Arista Records. So then, I guess he would still have some power, you know what I mean, legally, and then his mother would still have some power legally. So with him incarcerated and her gone, now they're just trying to cash out on it. Quick little 100 million. I don't think his catalog really does much right now. So that's why I think they're just trying to get this little quick 100 mil and get on. Because with everything going on with Diddy and all that, it's going to lose some value.
And all the stuff that's coming out with him, because eventually it's going to come out when it, much love, but the homosexuality claims with Diddy and Notorious B.I.G., the transgender and all the Notorious B.I.G.'s videos.
That's what I'm saying. It already came out.
So that's interesting you said that.
Videos. So
I didn't think of that though. You know, they're destroying his image. And that's what it seems that they do is like they'll destroy your image, but when they do it, they'll get the money. And then it's probably a way to bring him back to where they can restore his image once it's under their control. You know what I mean?
Like when you look back and see the videos and all that, you got to be realistic. Like he was already sold it from the beginning.
Well, I believe
even the first videos got TGs and all that in it back in 91 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all that. Like he already had sold it all up from the jump. You know what I mean? He did one of them old devil contract type joints. You feel me? Now maybe he had ways he was trying to get it back. You know, from when I did my investigation on Biggie, it seemed like with Junior Mafia and entertainment and all that, he was trying to figure out a way, which all artists do. You know, they get signed, they go through whatever they go through, they try to start to build their own entities. So it seems like maybe he's trying to break away. I don't know. I can't read his mind, but I just know that. What'd you say?
Or he faked his death.
Who you talking about, Biggie?
A lot of major artists. I would say.
I'm saying Biggie. You saying Biggie faked his death?
I would say 50-50. And it would, for me, I would say more than that. But yeah, Tupac. I would start dropping other. I was gonna mention. For those watching who are raised in Southern California, I was gonna speak on a recent brother who passed and a link to his murder and what's going on. But out of respect of what I really, really know, I'm not. But for those who are watching this and will replay this maybe years to come,
I feel like
what I'm talking about.
I feel like to say Biggie faked his death is just to avoid the bigger conversation that you brought up. Well, it's kind of contradictory because like we're talking about these higher entities that are working with as far up as demonic energies controlling our people, and Biggie's an example of that.
Well, definitely.
He's not the superhero we thought he was now that we look back 30 years later, hindsight 2020, they was tampering with the music of his, with the videos he was agreeing and submitting and making videos promoting TG and all that way before we even conjured the ideal of that. Way before, back when we were still kids, hip hop. Yeah, when I grow up, he was already selling the TG shit, bro. So we just gotta call it what it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
He's part of the agenda.
He was one of the pawns. He was one of the. He was one of the
I know that.
You know what I mean? He wasn't one of the conscious. I'm gonna escape it. Nah, that's not the Biggie profile. That's not. No, he's one of the ones who was going for. Look at what Diddy. Look at everything we know about Diddy now. We can't separate them two guys. His whole career is him. You feel what I'm saying? So that would be like crazy. You know what I mean? So through the years, the boule stuff, all the weird stuff, all that, he was part of it. That's why he was down to put it in the video and all that. You know,
definitely. All these.
I'm not saying he was boule, but I'm gonna say no. You know what, man? Fuck all that idolizing this nigga. Didn't he go to private school?
There you go. I'm
getting the main one talking all that crazy shit.
I was gonna.
Right? You
I know a
yeah,
brother.
let's go deep. So nigga, no, he went to private school.
I'm gonna tell you, I was gonna lead to that. But go ahead. I'm gonna.
He went to Catholic private school, bro. Yeah, all right, we'll lead to that. Keep it real. Yeah.
There's a brother I know. Much love to brother A.A. Rashid. He has a book called Fear of the Black Illuminati and some other amazing books that I have of his. And he grew up with Biggie Smalls. So I would say that I've been around a few brothers who've told me certain things. And so you're absolutely right when it comes to promoting drug dealing, selling crack, being on the block, doing all these certain motifs that he promoted that he really wasn't doing. So once again, it would link to the fact that Notorious B.I.G. was a government agent. How and why, Sway, you might ask, is because, like Crib Jesus was stating, when you agree and when you're conscious to promote a certain agenda, whether you know the ramifications at the time or not, you become an agent, a spawn for you know who, the higher powers that be. So like we showed you the organization level. Did you notice how it didn't show the artist yet? It showed the president, all these different sections of the industry and departments, and it still hadn't gotten to the artist yet. So go ahead, Crib Jesus, with that. So I was basically stating and agreeing that when we look at it,
1,000%. Because look, see, here's the thing. Why I be like slow down, because you gotta be careful. Because when you say government,
I don't know what
agent,
happened, but I think that it just cut off.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Oh, so when you say government agent, people think of
I'm sorry, I had to run out to the room real quick. What'd you say just then?
Huh? When you say government agent, people think of the guy.
Oh no, I'm sorry, it was cutting off. I didn't really hear everything you said. What was the last?
He's talking. Go ahead, Crib Jesus.
Yeah. So when you say government agent, people think of the guy from the Matrix and the suit, somebody that went to school, and all this and that, and they forget that, like you're saying, those are people who work in the government who are being sent out. Those are not even common. Those are rare entities, somebody who's trained and they really trust in their acting skills and they send them out to infiltrate something. That's rare, actually. That's not even though people think of that when you say government agent, that's actually the rarest form of a government agent.
Here we go.
The usual government agent is somebody handpicked out of a group. And they don't have to groom you to be this person they need you to play. You are that person. So if you're already a gangbanger, why waste my time trying to take a square ass government agent person and get them to infiltrate the gang when I could just get somebody in the gang to do it and pay them? So why not, if I want to infiltrate the culture or the neighborhood, pick someone out of it? So you see What does him and Diddy have in common? They both were raised with no fathers in New York in private Catholic schools, little black boys in the 70s. Okay. These are not public school regular, I come from the hood. That's cap. They were groomed, informed, and shaped by Catholic priests.
Yes, sir. Here we go. We're leading up to it, y'all. Here we go. So, as he talked about Biggie, I love you, brother Machiavelli. Live forever. But let's talk about it. Was Tupac Shakur also the industry plant? And was he also trying to get out for knowing what he did? Let's go with it. So Assata Shakur is linked up to who? The Black Panther Party. And when we study Assata Shakur's case, guys will learn about the CIA, FBI, also a child being, I'm not sure if he was birthed in prison, but or conceived, but she was in prison while he was inside her. So she was let off. Now the other Assata Shakur, his supposed godmother, she's supposed being hid in Cuba. So I was posting a picture of her. I have one in another slide. But if you guys look up Assata Shakur, she was also a part of the military. Crip Jesus might be able to quote it. There were other different types of brigades, other the League of Black Defense or something. But so you talk about a time when real Black revolutionaries were really active. They were knocking down police. They were with the FBI. The headquarters were being, and they were breaking people out of prison. The true definition of a time when we talk about political prisoners, especially artists. So for me, I always grew up feeling that Tupac was groomed in a positive way. Like, oh, his mother was Black Panther. She went against the CIA. He was raised to be a political warrior. But the more and more as I got wiser in the many moons that I wake up to, I started looking at, wow, Tupac went to LaGuardia, or he went to the Maryland, if it wasn't LaGuardia, he went to the theater art school with Jada Pinkett. Now, I'm not sure if one of the Waynes went there as well, but we know that he went to art school with Jada Pinkett. And we know that they stayed in contact. We know that he was already an actor. And then so how did that happen from him going there? And well, I know the story, but then going up north. And then the story with Digital Underground. Even when he came out, his first introduction, he came out as a king. He had the kufi on. He was in that movie with Chevy Chase, Down with the Underground. So it was pro-Black, God body. But once again, the rape charges, they said, all these things that were led up to him going to prison and signing with Death Row. And within that short period of time, his whole image was shifted. Him from being a positive, Brenda's got a baby, revolutionary, shifted when signing to Interscope. And who's running Interscope? Universal Music Group. Who runs Universal Music Group? The military, the witches and warlocks, who are, pause for me, extraterrestrial beings, who are all at war with the Mers and Moors and original people, us as the real extraterrestrials. And so when we talk about Tupac Amaru Shakur, I have a picture to link it up. There's no coincidence, y'all, that people who are, let's say the Black Panthers still dealt with the government. They still dealt with the government and CIA, FBI, because we know some of them flipped. Tupac Amaru Shakur. Just the name for me is it's like could be a double-edged sword. So for me, I always said he woke up and sacrificed or faked his death for those of us who could read the clues and see that he was purposely put in the industry, but possibly he didn't know when they were going to him down, or maybe he didn't think that he was going to go before his time. So when we look at Tupac Amaru to the left, to me, that's not an authentic painting. Just like when we study Lord Pakal and a lot of these Mesoamerican figures, a lot of them were much more darker. But still, the fact is, a real Tupac Amaru existed, and he was the last Incan Peru, that area's ruler. So the last Incan ruler or king, chief, to fight against the Spaniards and the invaders. And as you know, Peru is Heru. So when we say Peru, it's really truly Heru. And so right there, you see that we as original people of Tamare, Kemet, the Egyptians, Mesoamericans, we traveled as Moors and Moors, the seas and the lands all throughout the planet. And so what Tupac was actually doing, he had this chain represented his record label that was about to come out called Youth in Asia. You guys can type it out if you didn't know. Tupac's record label was called, or going to be called, I believe it was called already, Youth in Asia. And so that was like the death angel. But as you see, it resembles the medallion of the Moors and Moors and the ancient priests of Amaruca. So once again, giving us a clue to identify us as the original Americans. But coincidentally, Tupac was supposedly murdered and gunned down in Las Vegas, a strip where every single person has a camera on them. The entire strip is filmed. All that money, all the most at that time to the public, the most money in America to the public going through Vegas. And you're telling me that that murder was not filmed and that tape hasn't been released yet? And then learn about the helicopter, learn about Tupac's stunt double, learn about how a lot of these celebrities have either clones or stunt doubles. Like they say there's 7 Trumps, there's 4 Kanyes, there's 2 of this person. It's because it's all an act. And I guarantee you he's related to someone too, because it's all Hollywood. And Hollywood uses the magic tree. This is the elm bark. We use the elm tree for magic, what the Moors and Moors used for teas, magic mushrooms, for weapons against the troglodyte colonizers who came in. So study the elm wood. And that's where you get the word Elm Street from, because Elm Street is where the elm tree grows. And that's why they use the Hollywood for their magic, for blood sacrificing. So they put these artists in place, these entertainers in place, whose either mother, grandfather, or great-grandfather is connected or related to those in control. So once again, you see Clyde Davis and drowning of a Whitney Houston, and they still had the party that night. So JoJo, did you ever think to connect the dots when it came to the mysterious death of artists? And even Whitney Houston is related to a famous singer.
You know what? I actually think that right there is pushed into play, man, so they can keep control over the industry. when you have that fear hanging over your neck, you ain't gonna be as radical. You're gonna be a little bit more compliant. You know what I mean? And I think black folks, we've been struggling with that for a long time, with the slave master, with the abuse, beating us, whipping us, killing us, and stuff like that. So it's really the narrative we've yet really to grow past. But evidently, we're still comfortable with it because, I mean, hey, in America, you got to do what you got to do. So to the young people and for the people, who are, feeling like that, I think it's just to keep a lot of compliance underway. I think that's really what this is all about, Jay.
It definitely is. It's all about keeping everyone in order, controlling everyone's frequency, controlling people's thoughts, and your thoughts become actions. So if the majority of the songs or all the songs are manipulated with sound devices underneath them, certain tones that we cannot pick up, that means that the music, the media, the TV are all hypnotic spell devices to put us under a sleep spell, a type of time device in a sense. So now they're using music, and they have used music as a weapon to control society, the way they dress, the different fashions, the way people think, how high of a level of a conversation. That's why conscious artists and political artists and artists that have soul are not sold, are not allowed to be heard, because that's not the point of the music industry. Because as long as they think they can control the music industry, people will not think more intelligent and say, why don't we create our own? And this is why it's time to break away from the matrix and society, because in all the majority of the population actually thinks that the music they listen to, the books they read, the education system, the religion they believe in is orchestrated organically. But they have no idea that there's a wizard behind the veil, behind the screen, controlling everything, like the Truman Show, like a video game. And so right here we have the picture of King of Pop, dead at 50. Once again, what was Michael Jackson talking about, JoJo?
Do you remember when we fell in love? We was young and innocent. And do you remember? Do y'all remember that music video?
Mm-hmm. I remember it. And so it says Michael Jackson is stricken on the eve of a comeback tour. So right here, it can't be a coincidence for me. Michael faked his death as well. So it's a link to when, but still, let's say he didn't. It's still a link to when a popular artist starts speaking out. And why is it always the same story? It's always a story of them stealing people's money and their intellectual property. And so once again, you learn that these artists are controlled because the media, the marketing, in order for these people to be famous, they have to have a certain group of people who do not look like them, nor practice the same values and culture that they do as so-called Black, African-American, Moorish original people. You're dealing with the synagogue of Satan and beyond. So when you sign these contracts, they're actually oaths. In the majority of these major contracts, you have to prick your finger. They'll do a blood oath. And that's why a lot of artists are really bounded and binded more than they'll even tell you. And so certain sacrifices are made to make a lot of these artists famous, or to keep that energy going when a certain family, let's say an Ashkenazi Jewish family, is assigned to you. whether it's your Jewish marketing team, your security team, your everything is going to be under them. So it is them that makes you famous because it's them who controls the newspapers, the media, the TV, the perception, because without them, you wouldn't be famous in that level. And so now we're talking about presidents. It's the same thing, y'all. Politicians, it's the same thing. And then it just trickles down the order, like you guys know. Your CEOs, your bosses, all these people all eventually connected. And that's when you learn about certain farming systems that they do, whether it's going to college with certain sororities, fraternities, knowing, there's certain positions. So same thing to be a pop star, a actor. They just had the Oscars, and the symbol of the award resembles Imhotep statue. So Purple Rain, once again, what was Prince talking about, JoJo? Chemtrails, royalty, go ahead.
A lot of the artists from that time and prior to, man, they're all on that conscious stuff. They're trying to make you feel good. They make that music to where it makes you want to dance, makes you want to feel. At that time, that was a lot of feeling movie. You hear songs, man, that can make you cry. It can make you inspired. It can make you feel courageous. You know what I mean? So they were always pushing that. But as you notice, Prince kept that look for so long so he could stay safe.
I agree.
A lot of these people, man, they're just down with the get down, man. Like, it's crazy, bro. There ain't no problem with wanting to be a star and pushing the music and stuff like that when you want to make people feel good, man. But it's just the agenda within the agenda. You know what I mean? We naturally sing songs, we naturally dance, we naturally make people laugh. That's our skills to humanity. That's why we're so applauded on that. Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, all of us, we can make you laugh, cry, or inspired like Malcolm did. We can make you get sensational, or we can make you think about being a better man like Kevin Samuels did. We have the power to do it all, but we only
Rest
have.
in peace, Kevin Samuels.
So
go on with that. Talk about that. I forgot that they killed that brother as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mysterious death.
So
again,
you have these brothers, man, who, like I said, you only have so many platforms to where we're able to monetize ourselves. So my question to you, Jason, is like, okay, well, what do you do about it? Do you not play with the industry, and then the talents that the universe gave you, you just sit them on the shelf because you don't want to play the game? Do you play the game? You be compliant because you don't want to allow your talents to be disrupted? Or like, what can we do in this situation to where it's like, bro, we naturally can dance, sing, do all that. Like I said, we can make you cry, love, hurt. We have every ability to evoke every single emotion. So what do we do?
I'm showing people right now. I started pressing up. My first album dropped in 2004, The Hurdles. We were independent artists. And then people fell victim to the digital downloads and took away their art. And when you do that, it takes away the value of your art and the value of a people. This is 2008 album, The Matrix. I was the first one with the tour van in California, running around with a tour van with mushrooms on it, and TVs and all that, and everyone.
Hey, I have to
so I'm gonna say the answer. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, I gotta go run and do these errands and stuff. I got a busy day, but like I said, you guys got to stay woke. Most of all, you guys got to be mindful of what you're putting into your minds every day. I understand when you're in the gym and you want to go put on some cheek, Keith. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's my go-to, because that type of frequency, it evokes you, makes you angry, it makes you like, I just want to go hard, destroy. So when you're in the gym and you want to get that extra set, hey, I get it. But when it's early in the morning, man, and you're not aware of like, hey, you're putting this into your mind, understand what this is going to do to your psyche. Understand the frequency, man. You guys got to stay woke. Stay woke. Ask questions. That right there is really how you can learn something new, is just keep asking questions. It don't matter if that person knows the answer or not. Just ask that motherfucking question. Sound good, Brother Jay?
Yeah, I hear you, JoJo.
I love you, man. I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit, man, but I gotta go run these errands. All right, brother?
All right, leave us something with the mysterious death of Eazy-E. What'd you feel about that death?
Oh man. As soon as he started talking about what was it, Jimmy Iovine or who
Jerry
was
Heller.
it? Yeah,
Jerry Heller.
he started getting into that and then got into it with Suge Knight. Even on the movie, it showed you on NWA. It gave you guys glimpses of the evilness that happens. And again, brothers on brothers. It's just like that Samuel Jackson in the movie Django when Leonardo DiCaprio died, and he's like, no. And it's crazy what they can convince us to do to each other, man. We all niggas at the end of the day. Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all y'all still niggas. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of my output, man. You start talking about that wrong narrative when you inside of them systems and things like that. Well, evidently, yeah, we could see how that can end out. Not to say it's right nor wrong, but it's just the system.
I hear you, brother. So have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Love you guys, man. Gone.
So right here, you see the mysterious death of Eazy-E and W.A. Niggas with an attitude. At the time when the brothers from the gutter of New York were talking about peace, God, peace, son. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It feels like a jungle sometimes and make it wonder how I keep from going under. So I remember that. That was music coming from the ghettos of America, but still kicking positive information. And although NWA was at the police because that was the time of LA and we needed that aggression, what did it come into? Did so-called what it did, so-called black men of that area then took on the identity of being a gangbanger, being a thug, being a nigger, an ignorant person, not a naga, a serpent. The nagas and the gods, the originators of civilization, but an ignorant person celebrating the hood, celebrating the ghetto. And so they made an industry purposely. And once again, they would get the boss, the drug dealers, convince them. And then when they woke up to the scheming of those who did not look like them, they took them out. And so once again, Eazy-E promoting the gangster stuff. And the moment he started saying that Snoop Dogg wasn't real. Remember the song Real Mother and G's? Gangsta, studio gangsters. He started talking about Dr. Dre. He started saying the homosexual thing with Dr. Dre, which would have ruined his career at the time. So that means that Eazy-E was saying that Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were going to promote a gangster lifestyle. And not only was it bad, they didn't live that, because the majority of real gangbangers and thugs, when they get to a certain age or get out of prison, the majority of them, I know there's who don't, but those, they always say they made a mistake and that they wish they went to school or got educated, or they come out on some God body stuff, you know, if they have the proper tools. So when we celebrate this type of ignorance, we learn that it's perpetuated by the government. So when we talk about Eazy-E and Dre Day and all these things, Eazy-E and Real Mother and G's was exposing that not only were they being controlled by the same person, he probably schooled them up on game, that there was an agenda already at play to teach young black kids. Why? Because the song Let Me Ride with Dr. Dre, he said, no more black fists, no more black medallions, no more conscious rap. Just that gangster that makes a gangster snap, that gangster rap. So right then, Dr. Dre said, we don't want to hear any more black fists, no more black medallions. Why would you say that? Why would Dr. Dre say that? And now we learn about the headphones, and we learn about what that does to our ears. What type of message has been put in these new headphones or the Apple phones that have secret tones? I wonder if there was a study done with those new headphones. Was there more violence, drug use? Because I sure saw an uprise in violence when the kids had all those on their heads. Why? Because it gave them not just the radio, now they have more access to poison. Not just poisonous foods and poisonous knowledge and TV, the headphones, the poisonous music, and the tones that headphone had behind it. So they had to get rid of Eazy-E in the essence of Compton, because Compton sits on top of pyramids. Compton, California sits on top of waterway system and swamps, because Black Indians, Moors, and Moors were in the city of Compton. Compton sits on top of an ancient Moorish Egyptian civilization, because we were already here. And so in order to circumvent that energy of those watchtowers and Compton and South Central of us as Washita and Choctaw and Blackfoot and Seminoles returning home, instead of gods, they changed it to gangsters. So in order to circumvent us in California becoming Golden State Warriors again, Califias again, they changed the frequency with the different towers and all the stuff in the neighborhoods with the electrical poles and stuff. And they, gangster, you're a gangster. Gin and juice, gin and juice, gin and juice. Be a crip, gang bang, gang bang, gang bang. To the point being cool was being a criminal, a devil, a Satanist who own and control the record labels. So artists of today are what they would call the Satan's spawns, whether they knew it or not, or they did. And when they woke up to it, they were sacrificed. Because if they even didn't wake up to the spiritual aspect of it, as you see some people, oh, God is, and Jesus got me. It goes to this picture. If God is good all the time, where was he during slavery? If God is good all the time, why are so-called Black people and original people still mentally enslaved? If God is good all the time, why are getting shot innocently, women getting raped, disproportionate numbers of brothers and sisters locked in prison? And let's talk about the numbers of Black children who are kidnapped and mutilated every single day. Tunnels and cities underneath your cities, underneath that city. Learn about it. You've been manipulated with the word God. It's a spell. The word God spells G-O-D. God, or God. So I want everyone watching this show to type in Gad, because Europeans, through their nose passages, they cannot pronounce things like Haramakuna Shimiskara Washta Oishita. They'll say, well, how do you say that? Williams. And that's how it came from Washington, Washita to Washington, because they cannot pronounce our indigenous original tones. So we gave them English because they came out of caves. They could not speak. They didn't bathe. We had to chain books to them. We gave them the alphabet as Moors. We gave them math, science, music in attempts to civilize them. And now they put you under a spell of ignorance, where they want you to be a gangbanger. They want you to be a thug. They want you to work for them. They want you to believe in God. They want you to believe in Jesus. So you have nothing. You do not own your schools. You do not have land, but you do have land because you are the original American, the Amarucan, a Moracan. But they have to replace you with words and spells. Meanwhile, they destroy your statues. They burnt down your libraries of ancient times and antiquity. You got people telling you that the Bible is the word of God. How can the word of God be in the Bible when they burnt down your libraries? Learn about the Mesoamerican, Mayan, Aztec, Kodak libraries that were burnt. Learn about the Olmec statues that are still underground and still not excavated. Learn about what they call the Library of Alexander or Alexandria in those scrolls. Learn about Timbuktu. They predate these things. And it's not to take away from certain books, but it's time to see that we have been tricked and bamboozled to believe in someone else's dream, which is a nightmare. Mariah Carey's mother and sister died on the same day. And what was her sister talking about? Her sister said that she witnessed her sister Mariah Carey murder and sacrifice, and they had to do satanic rituals all throughout her career to keep her famous. Her family died. Coincidentally, it's all connected, y'all, to a cabal. The fires recently, because they had to destroy the evidence. And then if they build those railroads, you'll know that those things will never be dug up, or they won't go underground in those tunnels unless there's other organizations that are fighting against this cabal that has the majority of the population under a hypnotic spell. The food, the chemicals in the food, the sky, the water, the air are all poisoned with hypnotic spells of ignorance. That's why they give us fake time. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 12 p.m., click. 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 11, click. You see the 12? It's a time tick, like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland got you. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. I got to be here. And it's all made up jobs that you're going to. All made up churches that do not give you, that strip you of your divinity, that do not give you pure access to yourself as a God and as a pure being of darkness that can bend and create light. They don't teach you about the Tetragrammaton and Yahweh and Yahweh and the Tetragrammaton and the designs of certain beings that have technology to trap your light into these flesh suits. So you worship these gods and beings and get trapped here because you do not have enough information to cross over to the other side. Because you've been listening to artists every day, all this time, going to church, reading the Bible, watching the movies, by actors and actresses and musicians who are controlled by the cabal. Fatal crash with Left Eye. Aaliyah burnt alive. And they link that to Beyonce now. And who is Beyonce linked to? Jay-Z. So right there, and Dame Dash, why does he always keep mentioning Aaliyah? Much love, brother. If, like he said, he had nothing to do with it, and I'm hoping to the God that that's why he stepped away. I'm not sure. Peace and love to Dame Dash. You inspire a lot of us. So I'm going to send love to you if you're listening. I love you, brother. But we still got to make these connections. So at the end of the day, Sister Aaliyah being passed around the industry. In her last film, what? Queen of the Damned, where she played a vampire, an ancient Egyptian vampire priestess, a Sekhmet who couldn't stop drinking blood, so the pale-skinned vampires and all of them had to conspire against her and suck her blood, but they all come from her, the so-called black, the original vampire, the black woman, the Nubian woman. The first devils are black. Quit blaming the pale skins, even though we created them and all these other things, because they cannot, with their lack of melanin, they're not able to transmute the sun raw, the sun rays energy, and the songs or the psalms from the sun or the source, the computer source, to download at a faster rate. So it's not just a color thing. That's the spacesuit. Let's deal with let's not deal with our egos and deal with intellect, our inner chi, our inner G. So all of a sudden, Beyonce, Sasha Fierce comes onto the scene as Aaliyah burnt alive. And they said that Aaliyah was reportedly drugged and carried onto a flight before the fatal plane crash. Is that true? They say it's true. I wasn't there. But if so, that even means that it's worse. So they use these blood sacrifices to siphon energy, to feed the beast, to feed their energy. And that's why throughout the Bible, the Yahweh and that God asked for blood sacrifices. He salvaged at the smell of fresh meat. Was pleased when Cain killed Abel, or no, didn't kill Cain, but Cain killed Abel. But Cain and Abel, the story of one bringing flesh and Yahweh being pleased, and the other bringing fruits and vegetables and not being pleased. That's not a creator God. That's either a God with technology or one of us so-called black devils manipulating the beings that they created. Us as so-called mad scientists creating beings, just like the pale skin in them are creating robots that are going rogue. It's the same thing. Soulless beings. That's why they call our music soul music. They don't call the Mexicans music soul music. They don't call the pale skin Anglo-Saxon so-called white people's music soul music. They don't call the Japanese and China man's music soul music, because only us have a soul. And those who come from us have a small dimmer, depending on the spectrum of the melanin, the tone, your hair texture, all that, your blood. And so one drop of our blood, you have the God frequency in you, a creator gene outside of this matrix on what they can define. So these they're creating the world for the robots and these Cabbage Patch babies and kids who were born in incubators through technology. When you learn about Hitler and the Nazis, euthogenics, Scientology, in the hospital and medical industry, in the Cabbage Patch babies, in the Oddfellows, you will learn that cloning has been going on for a long time, and learn about the orphan trains and why the movies of the pale-skinned Europeans at first were Orphan Annie, Little Annie, the Little Rascals, the Ruspies, the Mugskies, the Ruffians, all these movies about orphans, the orphanage movies. Where did all these kids come from? Where did all these little white kids come from? They were created, and that's who populated the Americas as well, the Middle America and all that. They don't want to tell you that because you'll learn that we have been lied to. And so there's those beings that were created in the Matrix hologram. They were created in the video game. Therefore, the only way they can get to higher realms is through us, either through our blood, mixing our blood, or by kidnapping us physically and taking us to underground cities and other land masses and islands to conduct the same type of experiments and situations. Or they do it now. And so they use that to raise their vibration. But the moment our spell is snapped out of the ignorance on how they use us as a battery, their world dies. And no one else who wants to have a soul or gain a soul will follow their lead. And that's when their world ends. And when you learn that we already have land as the original people, that we came with the land. We are the water, the air, the fire, the plants. We are the dolphin. We are the herbs. We are all. So, and we prove it. So you live in your culture. What is your culture pre-Columbus? What were you eating? What type of foods were we on? What were we talking about when it came to the stars and the star maps? What were we doing with the animals? How were we communicating with the animals? What did the animals and plants say? How did we build cities? How did we harness electricity? How did we build such magnificent structures prior to European arrival all throughout the world? Because everywhere we go, when we see these advanced civilization and advanced structures, they all predate them. That's what we live in. We live in researching more of who we are as a culture instead of researching them and their agenda and their education and their movies and their religions that lead you to the slaughterhouse. It's a fictitious ideology. It's a fictitious way of thinking, and it's a program. That's why they distribute the Bible all throughout the world and keep everyone ignorant. So when they read the Bible, they're like, oh, it's the truth, it's in it. Yeah, it's because they put a little truth in the mix with lies because you're so ignorant. You think that any book that has a slight difference of what reality is and what they give you on TV and at school is it. But if you understood that there were other books, that there's other experiences and knowledge schools that are higher level thoughts that can create higher level actions of peace, love, righteousness, futuristic, innovative thinking and building, you'll put these books to the side and demand other books to be released. So we demand that these books be released from our ancestors that were confiscated and stolen from the Moorish Empire, from the Washita, Choctaw, pre-Columbian nations worldwide and in the Americas. Let the trumpets blow. Jason, society has been controlled. Let's not forget, legendary Coolio started speaking about the government as well, and he passed away. Sam Cooke, killed in LA, talking about his masters, murdered every time. Prodigy, the Illuminati in hip hop. And this brother was talking about Dr. York. He was exposing the industry. They said he choked on an egg. A brother choked on an egg, really? Wu-Tang Clan, Old Dirty Bastard, Baby Osiris, Peace to the God. He mysteriously dies in the studio, right? When he gets signed to Rockefeller. Or building with Rockefeller, right? And what happened? What happened? Wu-Tang goes Hollywood. Right after ODB, you know? Much love to the How High movies and stuff. But did you notice how some of the Wu-Tang members are very feminine now? When you see them on TV shows, it's the power of the beast. Rest in peace, ODB. So yeah, it's sacrifices going on right in front of you. Even Richie Valens, they couldn't have the Mexican start taking off like that yet. And that's why I wanted to go to Selena real quick, y'all, before we end it. Look at the comparison. Selena was an independent artist, I believe, from Tijuana, but she was raised, her family was from Tijuana, Mexico, but she was raised, I want to say, Texas. And so right there, Jennifer Lopez, that was the blood sacrifice to bring her in, because they couldn't have had the Mexicans crossing over and being independent. Her father was independent, and he was stern on that. But once she won that Grammy Award and having Mexicans grooving in the industry way too soon, it would have changed the dynamic of the Moorish and original communication, meaning Black and Mexicans would have been getting along more because of music. I guarantee you, if Selena hadn't been murdered, Mexican girls would have been blowing up, because Mexican girls can sing, but Mexican girls didn't have a figure. They gave the Mexican girls Christina Aguilera with blonde hair, right? She's Spanish. But the closest thing was Selena. And I remember in junior high, the Mexican girls crying. And I was like, wow, I didn't know it hit like that. And then I was the only Black person to watch Selena in the theaters. I was a kid. I was in, however young I was, you know. Yeah, and I was a fan of Selena, especially even after the movie. I didn't know the impact she had. So they had to get rid of her. So yeah, I guarantee you, if that lady ever talks, if she's not dead, the murder of Tijuana singer Selena, right there. So yeah, Selena, rest in peace. So right there, when you see people getting close to figuring it out and saying something, because it breaks the spell. It breaks the spell, and you see that you're controlled by a group of Satanists who gave you your Jesus, your Bible, your religions, your churches. They took over our cities, and they did like Men in Black time swipe on our ancestors, and they do it every day with these satellites. And so why did they do that recently? And look at that. Singer Marvin Gaye shot dead. Once again, changing the world through love music, had to get rid of him. And then even Whitney's daughter, they drowned. All for this. The planetary alignments, y'all. The recent end of the planetary alignments and what they do every single day is based off of the celestial bodies in the sky and their number system that they created to trap us in a matrix hologram video game, to trap our light so you do not obtain enough information to be able to cross over to the higher realms, to travel like the movie Fifth Element to different planets and different matrices, like Total Recall. They want you trapped like in the movie Total Recall, so you think this is the only matrix. You only think heaven and hell, and that's it. Or you think that this is the only planet or the only land masses with civilization. And so they keep you distracted in a worldwide circus. And so they stop the true gods when we return from being taken seriously, or they try to take those of us from the bloodline out. Because why? The majority of the planet is under a spell, and it's just time to break the spell. At the end of the day, you see it's already here. But once again, I'm Jason. July, August, September, October, November. We are living in a matrix hologram made up of atoms, photons, neurons, and electrons. As you see, we went through the connection with Will Smith being the top dog, calling Biggie and Prince, Universal Music Group controlling it all. to every major artist that you see today. And you see it's all led and leading to the AI artist, the AI actor, the AI teachers, the AI robotic doctors, because they want to replace human beings and use all of you as a battery, and then give you headsets and different virtual reality matrices that you can plug in and experience someone else's life. That's why they're recording you, like the Truman Show. We broke down the structure of the major record labels and the connection to smaller labels and connection to fashion, religion, into military, to the Queen of England, to the royal family, to witches and warlocks, to Hollywood, to the owner of the Universal in that family. And always you see one of us in there because they have so-called Black family members too. And then they have mixed family members. And Pale, it's a family, a group of families, a clan, trying to destroy our legacy of our empire. And of course, 3 months ago, Grammy-nominated singer Angie Stone called out Universal Music Group for taking her royalties. Today, she passed on a rollover crash headed to Mobile, Alabama. And so right there, once again, we connect. Jaguar Wright presented Defender of Freedom Award at Trump's home, attends event with Les Crockett, the reporter who ended Kathy White. So we connected that Angie Stone was Jaguar Wright sacrificed right in front of you, connected. Rest in peace to Bobby Christina and all, Old Dirty Bastard, Marvin Gaye, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, Old Dirty Bastard, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang, Coolio, Sam Cooke, Aaliyah. Her suspicions connected to Beyonce, Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and Rockefeller Records, all connected to these labels and governments who control your reality, fashion the way you think, your churches, the deities and gods that you worship, that you think are on your side, connecting it to Lisa Left Eye Lopez with TLC and the Condoms and R&B groups and Magic Johnson, Eazy-E, Arthur Ashe, and TLC being used to fear, and Eazy-E to fear Black people to have sex in the 80s and 90s, while other groups had sex to overpopulate the Black population in America, and particularly the new Mexicans. The connection of Mariah Carey, Tommy Mottola, and her sister speaking out about blood sacrifices, and her mother and sister dying the same day. And if God is good all the time, where was he during your slavery? The mysterious death of Eazy-E, the connection of America, the original Americans, to Tupac, and the original, or the second Tupac of Peru and Heru, who led a revolt against the Spanish conquistadors and the colonizers of the Catholic Church cabal. Connecting Clyde Davis to Whitney Houston, as Geffen is under Universal Music Group, Kim Porter, mysterious death with Diddy, B.I.G. being an agent connected, pushing the transgender movement, pushing the drug dealer, cocaine, get rich, die trying movement, all lower chakras to get Black boys to kill themselves and kill and hurt themselves and not be the gods they are born to be, along with the goddesses. And the connection to CIA and Tupac Shakur, and the Black Panther Party, FBI, and the government, and the grooming of certain artists who spoke highly of being kings and gods, but were infiltrated or put in positions to tell Black men to be thugs and gangsters. And then the murder or the death of Assata Shakur and Miss Wallace, Violetta Wallace, and all of a sudden, the releasing of Biggie Smalls' Masters to King of Pop, Michael Jackson dead at 50, Purple Rain, all speaking out against royalties, government, chemtrails, and the ills of the satanic cabal that controls reality, that has the majority of the citizens of America and the rest of the planet hypnotized. In the future, what they want is to replace you as the black woman and black man, like they did with Elvis Presley, like they did with the Jesus and these Yeshuas. They'll replace them with you, or you with them. The Selena connection to Jennifer Lopez, Blood Sacrifice, and also Left Eye and Nina from Black. Nina from Black hit by a car because she knew information connected to Death Row in the murders of Tupac and Left Eye. She knew too much. They killed her too. Oh, and we had to get into Aaron Carter because Aaron Carter spoke out the pedophilia of the Backstreet Boys, and his brother connected to multiple rapes and how the industry was filled with pedophiles, and it's connected to the church and Christianity, and how the CIA and FBI and government wanted him to lie to take down Michael Jackson, and he wouldn't, and they killed him too. Rest in peace, Aaron Carter. And then Whitney Houston, and then the catalog of B.I.G., the Queens, the Warrior Queens, to Angie Stone, dead in a car accident. In the music industry, in the reality of the Matrix simulation hologram being exposed. Once again, I am Jason Elm Street Williams, master of the universe, and you are tuned in to What is the Matrix TV, where we have the hottest nonprofit on the planet. You can go to Amazon.com and reach us. Jason Wins the Game. We talk about ADD, ADHD, and overcoming mental health disabilities, communication, and coming together, as I was teased for reading and hitting the game-winning shot. But wait, I'm not going to tell you all about it. Buy it on Amazon. Jason visits the museum, talking about a multicultural curriculum, Mesoamerica, ancient Kemet, Tamaray, Egypt, coming together, erasing the color lines. And Jason travels the museum with his friends. New animation series on the matrixuniversity.com. Pick it up. And the new one you can find on Amazon is Jason in the Lost Pyramid. So be sure to check us out at the matrixuniversity.com. New animation series coming. So peace and love to everyone. I'm Jason Elm Street Williams, master of the universe. And as always, we're going to leave you with some music from the gods.
Hands to the sky, black and brown pride in the sets again. Erase the color line, but blood on my Mexican. Our people have been here long before colonizers came. The devil slipping, blow out the pilgrim. Police still killing, black and brown brothers. They don't give a fuck. The mothership about to return and pick my people up. Watch me swim in gold like I am Scrooge McDuck. Spirit of California. Praise the ancient goddess, light up a marijuana. Roll up the tree, set fire to the ganja. The Fuego isn't the Diablo, always starting problems. When I run color on this coat, guaranteed to catch my blood. Activate my pyramids in California, in Mexico. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Black and brown pride on the West Coast.
Represented, I'm the hardest in it. Fuck the critics, ain't nobody hard as gritty. Black and brown come together, we ain't backing down. I've been in the hardest city, got the bloodline of a king. Gotta come together, we all in the same game. One God, one universe, all unity, and ain't shit changed. Gotta mount up, but they dumb us down with that fake shit that they teach us now. We been living in the belly of the devil, battling so we can make it out. Fuck the politics and the president, fuck the White House till they let us in. We gon' go to war, we ain't hesitant. If they want to smoke, then I'm ahead of shit. We the last living of a dying breed. Ain't nobody with the pen as hard as me. Every time I rap it hit an artery. Ain't nobody fucking with my artistry. We the holy guys, we invented time. We gon' send a missile like it's Lebanon. I've been eating rappers like it's dinner time.
Cool
Suckers hibernating like it's dinner time.
Imagine what the world would look like if I was the pharaoh.